Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all doing very well. In today's video, we're talking about niche things that make you instantly stylish, part 3. Because of course I couldn't just stop at 2 parts. I had to add a third one because trilogies are just a little bit more exciting. So let's jump into it. I want to talk about this idea of distressing and wear and tear. This is a phenomenon that we are seeing, or that at least I'm noticing more of in fashion right now. I'm not just seeing it from runways and from fashion designers, but also from people on like boots on the ground, like people actually getting dressed on a day-to-day basis. The idea of distress is something that I think we are contesting with. We're looking to incorporate it into our wardrobes and into our outfits in some way, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. This makes me think about the Mary-Kate and Ashley Birkin bag that's very lived in, it's scuffed, as opposed to a bag that is pristine. It's almost like we're shifting away from this idea of something cool being brand new and you know, unscathed and unscratched to a sense of, I guess, coolness or value being in those items that actually have character to them. There's this idea of, you know, getting that new bag and trying to get it as scuffed and as lived in as possible. We also see this a lot in the denim community where people want their jeans to look as aged as possible because that aged effect is what makes them look cooler. We also see this with things like the heel bite as well, that comes naturally from a pair of jeans that are just a little bit too long. My mind also goes to that infamous photo of Marc Jacobs with his Birkin bag at the beach. A lot of people would argue, well, why would you ever buy brand new clothing that's already distressed? Doesn't that completely defeat the point? And we are seeing this conversation at houses like Prada, where Miuccia and Raf, over the last 2 collections of men's and women's, have continued to explore this idea of, you know, a sort of unfinishedness and a discombobulation. In the recent Prada Fall Winter 26 collection, the first passage of looks gave us chaotic layers and edges that were frayed and clothes that looked like almost like survival clothes. So in my opinion, yes, I think having garments that are aged and lived in definitely can make an outfit look more interesting and look more stylish. But I guess the question for us to ask ourselves is, are we actually okay with clothes that look like they've lived through something? You know, do you only like curated distress? Let me know what you guys think about this section, because I'm just going to leave it a little bit open. Before we move on to the next point, I'd like to kindly thank Vinted for sponsoring today's video. It's very much spring cleaning season, and I feel like one way to do that is not by binning your clothes, but by actually selling the pieces that you don't wear anymore. With Vinted, everything can be new again for someone else. It's super easy to use and there are no seller fees, which I love. I'm doing a little wardrobe clear out myself at the moment, and I definitely feel less guilty about bringing new things into my wardrobe when I know I'm also moving on pieces that deserve a second life. Maybe I haven't worn it in so long, or I've grown out of it, or it's just sitting there collecting dust, you know? Vinted has genuinely been my go-to app for buying and selling secondhand clothes for years. So I'll be listing some new clothes for my closet sale over there. And if you want to shop my wardrobe, make sure to follow me on Vinted at KikiLeaks. You can download the app for free and start selling on Vinted today. Thank you so much to Vinted for sponsoring today's video. I feel like asymmetry is what it feels like when your life doesn't line up so neatly anymore, or you're going through a period that looks very different to the challenges that you faced in the past. It could be things like stress or illness or a new move, maybe even a heartbreak, but through all these different life moments, we still get dressed. And I feel like asymmetry is a visual representation of that. I feel like what you go for in an asymmetrical jacket or shirt or a pair of trousers or skirt is very, very telling of a person's personality, because with asymmetry we can access and tap into whimsy, we can tap into kitsch, we can tap into sarcasm or play or an element of humor. There's just so many different things that we can do with asymmetry, and I feel like when someone incorporates that into their personal style, it just instantly makes them a little bit more stylish. Because I mean, for me, when I'm thinking of a stylish outfit, I'm thinking about something that is so personal to the person, that tells that's a story for not just them, but also is a visual story for, for the person that is observing the look too. So I guess asymmetry makes me question, and possibly others question, when I get dressed, if everything in my outfit was perfectly centered, does that mean I'm actually put together? Or does it mean that I'm trying not to stand out too much or trying not to disturb anyone? The barrier for asymmetric dressing is quite low, and it's something that anyone can really try if they want to experiment and explore their outfits and their bodies a little bit more, because you can really just choose what it is that you want to emphasize in a specific moment with asymmetrical clothing or with asymmetrical cut. You can go for a one shoulder, or you can go for one earring as opposed to two. You can go for, asymmetry doesn't even have to be just the cut, but it can also be if you're wearing two different colored socks, for example. There's just so many ways to try this and experiment with this approach of being unbalanced. And I feel like it's also a fun way, especially for people who are more who have a very strict and considered approach and methodical approach to many things they do. From a fashion perspective, it's almost a way to interrogate that version or that persona of yourself. So whenever I see asymmetry in clothes, I think, yes, it's super aesthetic and it looks fantastic and it looks very appealing, but also I feel like it has a lot more, or it can have a lot more of a deeper meaning. And to be honest, it may not even have a deeper meaning to it. It could just be that it looks great, and that's the beauty of it. It can just look great, or it can have a deeper meaning as well. I'm looking at uniforms in two aspects here. I'm looking at it from a stylistic aspect in terms of the physical clothes that you can buy, like buying uniform pieces, and also from the aspect of wearing an outfit over and over again. Now, what I've noticed in the first instance is that, we're seeing things like sailor hats trending a lot in fashion right now. We're also seeing military jackets also trending a lot in fashion right now. We're seeing camouflage as a big trend in fashion as well. The relationship between the current political and socioeconomic climate right now and fashion makes me think that we have a relationship with uniform that is a lot deeper than we tend to think. But it's safe to say that when we inject some of these silhouettes and idioms and shapes into our own outfit, it gives us this element of authority within ourselves, which can kind of reinforce your own agency, I guess. There's also something to be said about the fact that for a lot of people, the concept of a uniform is very attractive in a number of different ways. I guess there's a bigger conversation to be had as to why some of us are more attracted to these to uniforms as an idea. When people replace their sunglasses with their prescription lens, I think this is really, really nice, because this is one way to have a super, super unique pair of glasses on your face. It gives you the eccentric frame and sporty frame of a pair of sunglasses, especially for people who wear glasses to read and who need glasses to see. It's almost part of you, it's almost part of your personality in a way. So these little subtle changes can make a huge difference to personal style. A lot of opticians do this, where they'll actually swap the sunglasses lens out for you with a reading lens as long as it fits the frame. they'll do it for you, and you'll have a pair of glasses that no one else has. You'll have custom glasses. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video on niche things that make you instantly stylish, part 3. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos just like this. Apart from that, I'll see you guys very, very soon. All the best.